Hi, my name's Steve Smith and you're listening to the Obscast.
Sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome to the Obscast, the podcast dedicated to Sherwood Observatory, its members, visitors and all budding astronomers. I am here at Sherwood Observatory to bring you a glimpse of one of our extremely popular open evenings, where we invite the public to come for a tour, learn about our society and the observatory, attend a talk and hopefully get a great view for our main telescope if the weather sticks to the script, which unfortunately at the moment it does not look like it will do. It's cloudy and you can probably hear blustery. I'm here at 2 p.m, but since around midday, members of Mansfield and Sutton Astronomical Society, or Obscast for short, will have been arriving to set up for this evening's events. Obscast is a charitable organisation, and everyone involved in running Sherwood Observatory, including events like these, are volunteers with a passion for astronomy and sharing their knowledge of the night sky. Later on, I will be given a tour of the open evening's offerings by none other than our very own Rob Dawes. Now, I'm going to go and head over and go through the gates and help. Hello, Ollie. How are you?
How are you doing?
Right, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Right, so it's been a few hours, everything's set up and the public are arriving already. And I'm now here with Rob Dawes, who's going to give me a tour around. Thank you for being here, Rob.
No problem, Joe. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the January Open event.
Well, behind us is the car park, so there's a car park here. If you come, you can easily park up and get through. But we're stood at a gate now that's next to the SDC project, our building project. We're building a planetarium. Oh yeah, it's coming along, isn't it, Rob?
Absolutely. You can clearly see how much progress they're making with the reservoir, the Victorian reservoir, which is going to be converted to a science discovery centre. They're doing really well. We're working above ground now, so hopefully in November it will all be open, the Science Discovery Centre and state-of-the-art planetarium, which is a fantastic addition to our outreach.
Excellent, and we're still on track for November then, are we?
We are still on track for November 2024 to be open.
Excellent. Right, if we walk down the pathway here into the entrance, could you give me a tour of the open evening so people know what they'll encounter when they come here, what to expect?
Yeah, and then as you come down the driveway, first thing you're going to come to is the entrance to the observatory.
Our new entrance sign.
Our new entrance sign,
there,
yeah.
nicely.
And usually we have someone looking after people as they enter, taking all the details. In this moment we've got Scott Creed.
Hello, Scott.
Hello. Who's looking after all the entrance for the membership public who are coming down into the observatory.
Making sure no one gate crashes, I guess.
Whoa.
And make sure they've got the tickets, and then give them a little introduction about what they're going to be happening and like what the talk's about in the evening and things like that.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Right, where do people go when they come in then? Well, what's the first thing they're going to visit?
First thing they're going to see is on the left-hand side is the mock-up of the solar system. What we've got, all the planets, the asteroid belt and the sun all stretched out, and information posts right on below them, giving members of the public a brief outline of each main object in our solar system, main object being the planets and the asteroid belt.
Excellent, and that was all made by volunteers as well, wasn't it?
It was indeed all made by volunteers. Then if we carry on just past the entrance, we will come down to our scope deck.
Yeah.
Normally on an open event we'll have a selection of telescopes. We can use the Society's telescopes, or like tonight we've got all the members who have brought their telescopes down.
It's been great seeing during the afternoon while we've been setting up, members coming to set up their own telescopes so that the public can come and enjoy them on our scope pad. Not that there's much sky to look at tonight because of the cloud.
Not at the moment, but we're hoping the sky will clear.
And it's still round, even though it's cloudy, with people learning about telescopes and getting enthusiastic.
Absolutely. Tonight is no exception. We are sold out. So the first one we've got is a members telescope. It's a Celestron, which is a combination of mirrors and lenses.
Yeah.
It is quite a compact telescope. We've got the far end, I believe it's 16-inch go-to Dobsonian, again another members telescope.
Yeah.
And right in the middle, we've got another Celestron that belongs to the Society. So we give a selection of telescopes. So usually members of the public can come along, have a view through them, ask questions about particular telescopes in case they're looking to buy any particular scope. So give them some pointers on what the different scopes will do and what to expect.
That's brilliant, so they can come down here and really get hands-on with some actual equipment and actually do some astronomy straight away as soon as they come in.
Absolutely, it gives them a chance to actually physically see that a telescope in action, and indeed look through one as well at a celestial object.
Excellent. Well, as we can hear all around us, it's actually pretty packed, which is always good. We always sell out, which is always a good sign.
We do always sell out. We quite often get people asking to be able to walk in, pay on the door, but it's not always possible to do that, but we're trying to accommodate everybody. And there's different scopes set up now. The traditional telescopes, which we have on our scope deck, with an eyepiece where people can look through the particular eyepiece. But more and more now we're getting telescopes.
I see a sea star.
Like a sea star, for example, where it doesn't look like a telescope at all. It's a small 50mm camera in there. It's a go-to. It'll track an object, and it'll link it directly to your phone or iPad. You can download it, process the images, that sort of thing. You can see whatever you're looking at, you can see in real time on your phone or iPad. So latest technology, what belong to the members.
Yeah.
So they can see different variations of telescopes in effect. Some automatic go-to with cameras or traditional eyepiece setups.
We had this sea star set up on looking at the moon earlier for 10 minutes while we had a gap. I believe this one belongs to Chris Spencer, so that's another member who's brought something along for the public to use and look at and get enthused by.
Absolutely. Chris, one of our members, is here, and he's got his Stellina telescope, again, which is like a big upgraded version of a sea star, where it's looking at an object in the sky, taking processing images from it, and again it can be directly down to your phone or iPad. But we'll ask Chris to give a short brief talk about it, if you like.
Yeah, if Chris wants to give us a description of it. So I'm here with Chris now, who it was your sea star I looked through earlier, I think.
Yeah.
On the table over there.
Yeah.
And you're here with a Stellina.
Yeah. So when I first joined the astronomy group, I was a bit concerned whether I'd be accepted, because I'm into the digital scopes.
Okay.
So something we refer to as EAA, electronically assisted astronomy. So I have a Stellina. I also have a sea star. I have a number of digital scopes. For my particular life situation that I'm in, with a number of kids and big family and things like that, I quite like the digital scopes because it allows me to go and put them outside in the patio. I can come back inside and I can help the family.
You can make dinner for the kids and do astronomy at the same time.
With my wife, with my kids.
My alley.
It's also very warm. I can stay warm.
Yeah, that's my kind of astronomy.
But technology in the EAA market is just coming on leaps and bounds. When you look at what a Stellina cost originally, close to $4,000, kind of thing, and then you look at what a sea star can do that's just over £500. Now, it's still money. It's still still a lot of money. Things like that. But if you compare a sea star to a PlayStation 5 or something, they're about the same kind of thing.
That's true, yeah.
And different people find different hobbies is what they like. So.
And how old is the Stellina compared to the sea star then?
So Stellina, I think, is about 4 years.
Okay.
4 years, and it's probably one of the first combined electronic scopes. It sort of pioneered that way. There's a lot of people that use telescopes with cameras strapped to them and things like that. But Stellina was probably one of the earlier all-in-one units where the sensor is combined to the optics and all the tracking system is built completely in. As I said earlier, you literally just go and plonk it on your patio, turn it on, it will do its own plate solving, and then once it's become initialised, you're then free to use an app on your phone or your tablet and control and say, I want to see Orion M42, or I want to see Andromeda Galaxy, and it will go off. And
this was one of the first kind of all-in-one simple, set it up, and
that sort of started that. There's lots of that. Obviously, within the Stellina range, you've got Vespiras. There's a Vespira 1, a Vespira 2, a Vespira Pro. C-Star are sort of a new entry. ZWO C-Stars are sort of new into this market. ZWO are a famous brand. They've been going many, many years within astronomy. But again, they've joined this kind of all-in-one kind of unit. Now, there are positives and minuses for this. Probably one of I've mentioned many positives that I find positives, because I can put it in the boot of my car, I can take it on holiday, I can do those kind of things.
Yeah.
It's one box kind of thing, and it's nice and easy to set up, simple to set up. Great for engagement with the younger audience, because they can play with it with their phone, they can see it on their phones. There's a great audience for there. But I guess probably the one drawback that I'm quite excited, because I think it's just being addressed by Celestron in the electronic market. But one of the drawbacks is sensors and technology. Moore's law, everything doubles every few years. Mm-hmm. So sensors within cameras are constantly increasing. So we go from a 2 megapixel camera to a 6 mega to an 8 to a 12 to a 24 technology. But where it's all built in, they're not very upgradable. They are what they are on the day you buy them.
So they become obsolete, but out of date.
They can do quite not quite quickly. You're still going to get hopefully years of enjoyment. 4 years, for example, on Stellina, and I'm still enjoying her, and she's here, as you can see. A lot of the time, software also improves and that kind of thing. But Celestron have just brought out what's called the Celestron Origin, which is getting the market quite excited, because what they've chosen to do, they brought out a 6-inch Raza scope, so a 6-inch primary scope, and their intention is to make the camera upgradable. Okay. So the camera is bolted on the nose of the telescope, and the idea is in 2 years' time, when we can go from an 8 meg sensor to a 16 megapixel sensor, yes, you'll have to dispose of the old camera, but the rest of the telescope remains the same. It should be undo 3 screws, screw the new one in, plug it back in, and you get...
Makes it a lot cheaper in the long run to keep up with your hobby. Keep on the leading edge. Yeah. I loved your face when we put this... We're stood by a TV at the moment that's on the wall that's brand new today, and I saw Chris's face when he suddenly realised he could hook the C-Star up to that at some point.
We'll be trying that out for sure.
Definitely. Right, well, thank you very much.
No problem.
It's been great.
Thank you.
And I'll go find Rob, and we'll go move on to our the next part of the evening. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you. Take care, mate.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right, I found Rob, and we are...
It's very busy on these events.
I know, you're doing great. There's lots of, visitor engagement going on, I'll call it. Lots of talking and lots of questions. It's great. But here we are. We're a voluntary society run by volunteers, and we're also a charitable organisation, and we sometimes need to make some money back. So this is where the merch store comes in.
It's where the merchandise is. You're absolutely right, Joe. Everyone here is a volunteer. We don't get paid or anything like that. We do it for the love of the society and outreach and astronomy. So we're trying to put on as good a show as possible, and this is one of the ways we raise money to run the society and improve the facilities we've got, and repair equipment after when it gets broken, that sort of thing. But yeah, we're just standing right outside the marquee. Yeah. And inside we've got members, volunteers running the merchandise stall. So if
should we go and have a look at what's
let's go and have a look.
I think we should. I'm going to reserve something for my children, because there are lots of good stuff for children here as well.
Hello. So no. So
stop wind getting on the microphone.
He stops the wind noise. We've got to, yes.
So we're here in the merch store.
So we're in the merchandise
Paula's
store.
here.
Paula's here. Paula is again a volunteer member. And Paula is also our treasurer. Hi, Paula.
Hi.
Right, what have we got on offer, Rob?
Oh, what haven't we got? Look at these beanie hats. These ribbed ones, pom-poms.
I need some more hats. It's very cold tonight.
It is. Guaranteed, these woolly hats are brilliant. We took these to Iceland 2 years ago, and it was minus stupid degrees, and our heads were kept lovely and warm with them, so they are being thoroughly tested. But things like beanie hats, turn-up hats, woolly hats, we've got the ribbed hats with the very little animal on top.
I've done my works outside gardening. I use one of these outside, so I can attest to how rugged it is as well. If you
absolutely
garden working.
I was sorting a water leak out in the garage this morning wearing my beanie hat, and I was toasty. So we sell things like t-shirts, sweatshirts, polo shirts, that sort of thing. Again, all to raise funds
And lots
for
of knickknacks for
society.
kids over here as well.
Oh, we have. We've got big kids over here. And that's the best place. Things like stretchy aliens and spacemen. We've got some gorgeous galaxy slime, guaranteed to dissolve carpet.
I can attest to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
So we try and cater for adults as well as the younger children as well.
And very importantly, a donation box.
Oh, of course, and it is well primed already.
It is. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you. Come again.
Bye-bye.
Right. As you can see, everyone's always got good humour.
So as we leave the merchandise stall and we walk round to the other side of the observatory, we come into where we'll launch our rockets.
I was going to say, it does sound like on the audio at the moment that we're launching a rocket, but what are we looking at?
Well, this is just one of the outreach sections, what we do. We've got a member who's running a rolling video presentation, as you can hear, of a rocket launching up into space on one of its missions.
Well, it's set up by Julian, isn't it? And he's over there, so should we go and ask him?
Let's go and have a chat with Julian.
Word with Julian, if Julian doesn't mind.
Julian looks like he's doing nothing. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
This is Julian.
Hello.
Julian's running this section of the outreach.
Hello.
We are recording an Open Evening Obscast, and I wondered if you could tell us about the videos you've got on the wall at the moment for people to see.
I put together some audio visual just for the public to see while they're just, something else to do while they're at the OBS. It's happened to be running. We've had it in the reservoir before we obviously started with that. So now we're running it on the outside wall next to the kitchen outlet. So something to watch while they're queuing up. So we've got 3 videos of rocket launches, which sound quite good with the speaker I've got, and what's currently running now is a Scale of the Universe presentation visual, which with a audio backdrop as well, which just shows the scale of the size of the planets and black holes and all the rest of it, which I think runs quite well.
I watch this sequence every time because it blows my mind every time when it comes on, and I have to see what it is it's running through a sequence of how big the Earth is compared to other planets, then compared to the Sun, then compared to Sirius A, and it keeps going bigger and bigger all the way to the observable universe.
It does, which is just mind-boggling, obviously, as we know.
Yeah.
So it entertains the public for about 4 or 5 minutes, which is enough to get their coffee and cake, and then they trundle off into the their lecture and the rest of the experience here.
And in terms of coffee and cake, we sell it from Sirius Refreshments, where the public can buy cake, drinks, biscuits.
Absolutely. Sirius Refreshments is always busy selling gorgeous cake made by members, donating it. Again, all to make funds for the society, which again ploughed all the way back in to the observatory to improve the amenities we have.
Excellent. Right, well, thank you very much, Julian.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Julian.
Thank you. So after being outside and coming inside, people are going to queue here outside this door to come in and see a lecture from a different person every time, and this night's lecture is from our secretary, Michael Lowe, and they're usually, they're always a very good standard, aren't they?
They are indeed a very good standard. It's amazing how much information, what can be put over in 20 minutes on these rolling lectures at the open events.
I've sat through a few of these. I'm quite looking forward to this. But we're going to go in when he's finished the current lecture, and before he starts the next one, we're going to go and grab him and have a quick word. Right, so we're in the lecture room now, and we're here with Michael Lowe, our secretary, who's doing the talk tonight. Can I ask what the talk's about this evening?
Tonight I'm talking about stars.
Okay. All of them? Just different types, different sizes?
Yeah, different types, different size, temperatures, life cycle.
Ah, excellent. And how long do the lectures last on these nights?
About 20-25 minutes, although I do get a bit excited, a bit carried away, and I do sort of tend to run on a little bit.
Chuck in as much information as possible.
Exactly.
Right, well, there's people coming in for your lecture already, excited to get down, so we'll let you get on with it. And,
Joe.
Yep, thank you very much.
I don't know, the next 20-25 minutes talking to you about stars. We do a lot of that at the observatory, that's what observatories do. We look at stars, we study stars. So, let's begin. Oh, one other thing. I'm sure parents, you're aware of the programme Crackerjack. Yeah, Crackerjack? Yeah, remember Crackerjack? Yeah. So, remember they used to give away Crackerjack pencils and pens? Well, tonight we're giving away observatory pencils. Okay, so there are 1 or 2 questions coming your way. Hopefully the children can answer them, but even so, adults, don't be frightened. Okay, here we go. So what is a star? Is it a solid? Is it a gas? Is it plasma? Or is it liquid? Anybody want to let me know? Go on, I can see some hands coming up. Go on then.
Plasma.
Plasma. Well done, it is plasma.
Right, we're just going up into the main telescope, up the spiral staircase.
So this is where people will come after they've been to a lecture?
Yes, it is, yes.
Hello. How are you? Chris Dakin is priming the telescope.
That's not my choice of screen.
Yeah, that is.
So we're up here in the dome now, and this is where people will come after they've seen the lecture downstairs. What do they experience when they get up here, apart from seeing the amazing view, probably for the first time, the 24-inch telescope?
Well, the first thing what usually happens is when they exit the spiral staircase, come up, they all usually go, wow, because they've got the 24-inch Newtonian built by the original founding members right in front of them, which is, I believe, one of the biggest publicly accessible telescopes in Great Britain.
Yeah.
And they have access to it. It's an absolutely gorgeous piece of equipment.
And there's usually a succession of wows afterwards as everybody looks through the eyepiece at something in the sky, whatever we've pointed it at that night.
You're absolutely right, Joe. Yes, this might be the first time people who visited us on this particular occasion have actually looked through a telescope, and this might be the very first one, given that special moment.
Yeah. Right, I hear there's a new mirror coming into this soon, but I think we should probably ask Chris about that since he's here.
Absolutely, I've got a new mirror. We'll hand you over to Chris.
We have a new mirror coming. Well, it's here.
It's
going to be installed soon. When are you thinking that's going to be done? No idea?
With sometime within the next few weeks, I think. We've been really busy with telescope training of our other members, which has put the maintenance behind. And we had issues with the dome in the summer when we were going to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea is that mirror will go in probably within the next month, I think.
That's a good timescale. That's not too long to wait. And the look on your face, I thought it was going to be another year. But
no, it's just a question I've been getting quite a lot lately. Yeah. No, the bracket, we've had to design a bracket for the back of the mirror to actually make it fit our scope. That's been done now. That's all ready to go in. So that's what's caused some delays.
So Chris does a lot of work on this telescope. He's curator of instruments, that's correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and obviously another volunteer doing this on his own time, which is amazing. The new mirror is obviously going to be replacing the old mirror.
Yeah.
What difference are we thinking that might make to the visuals?
It is significantly better designed. If you're talking technical terms, you're talking the accuracy of the scope. What we sort of say is how smooth is it in terms of the light that's hitting it, and the mirror we have in at the moment is about it's accurate to 1/4 of the wavelength of light that's hitting it. This one is 1/10, I think. So there's 3 sort of normal grades of scopes you can get. There's like entry level, enthusiast, and research grade.
Okay.
And the one that we've got is research grade. It's the best that can be made, and the biggest that they can make as well, at Orion Optics anyway.
Yeah, wow. So, well, that sounds incredible. Yeah, I mean, the original mirror has been in for a long, long time because we covered it on our founding members episode, actually, of the Obscast.
Yeah.
So it's probably about time for a brand new one.
Yeah. One of the main things I'd expect to see with a new scope is a much greater contrast, so you should be able to see the difference between faint and really faint bits much easier, so nebulae should pop out a lot more. I'm really hoping, anyway. And the stars should be round, which they aren't at the moment in this mirror, because I think that we're clamping the mirror in a bit tightly.
Oh,
so
okay.
There's a distortion on it. And we always knew, since the very first days, that the outside edge of this mirror is not the right shape either.
Okay.
But yeah, whereas this one has been done professionally.
Well, I know everyone's going to be looking forward to looking through that for the first time.
Do you have any plans for the old mirrors? What will come out, Chris?
Yes. Now, there were three ideas. There was one potential to donate it to another cause, so it would have a second life somewhere else. That is kind of been discounted now, so there's two options left. One is it goes into a permanent display in the museum as a museum piece, which is good. It's not my preferred option. My preferred option is, can we build another telescope with it? Maybe a little transportable Dobsonian. I don't know. We will see.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out soon enough then.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. I think you've got a crowd coming upstairs ready for your attention, so we will let you get on with it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. See? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, that was on recording.
Yeah, I'm counting them.
Right. So this will be the point where we normally show you through the telescope. So that, in a nutshell, Joe, is Sherwood Observatory's open events. These are our flagship events, and you can see how busy we do get and the wide range of activities we do promote down here at the observatory.
Well, thank you very much for the tour. I appreciate you giving me your time tonight to show me around, and obviously to show people listening around, or audibly, not visually, but hopefully it gives people a glimpse of what they can do if they come here and support Sherwood Observatory.
Absolutely, Joe. Like I say, everyone's welcome here, and we take time to go out and introduce ourselves to the people who show up.
All right. Well, Rob, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Joe. All the best.
Thank you very much to Rob Dawes for taking his time to show me around on our open evening. Some eagle-eared listeners may have noticed the lack of Radio Astronomy Centre on that tour, but don't worry, we didn't forget it. It was unavailable on that particular open evening due to its being set up after it had been moved by Crane to its new position, and it will be available on future tours. If you would like to hear about the radio astronomy capabilities at Sherwood Observatory, please feel free to listen to our Obscast episode released in January 2023 dedicated to the topic. Also, a big thank you to Brendan Schooler, who organises the open events for the public in his own time. If you wish to hear about his role in making these events happen and all he does, you can listen to the Obscast episode dedicated to his role as open events and course coordinator on YouTube or any decent podcast app. Now, let's move on to the excellent section where Steve Smith gives us all the reasons to look up in the coming month.
Hello, this is Steve Smith with my monthly Looking Up Obscast. I do the monthly Looking Up articles in the EH to inform members about the many seasonal objects that come around each month. I have learned that it is important to have a list of objects ready for the next observing opportunity. Your list may include galaxies, open star clusters, globular clusters, double stars and nebulae. The planets and our moon do their own thing, so you need to check up what's up there at the time you want to observe. There's always plenty to see if you are aware what is currently up there. If I have had a successful observing session, I usually write an account about the session, giving details of what I have seen and any thoughts that occurred to me at the time. It is good to be able to look back on these sessions and share observations with others. If you have a good night at your scope, why not make some notes and send it to the Society's Event Horizon magazine to share with your like-minded fellow members. So, off we go. What are February's highlights? Well, Jupiter gradually wanes over this month, but it is still a brilliant target. It may be the only major naked-eye planet currently available to us in the evening sky, but it provides a feast of things to see, like its darker north and south equatorial belts, its great red spot, and its 4 Galilean moons. They always supply plenty of action. Can you imagine Galileo's excitement after observing these previously unseen and unknown 4 stars over several nights back in January 1610? He noted that they appeared to move in the wrong direction regarding the background stars, yet remained in Jupiter's proximity, changing their positions relative to one another. This supported the Copernican theory that not everything orbited the Earth. Galileo springs to mind whenever I gaze at Jupiter and its 4 brilliant moons. Wow! Orion is still very much available and bursting with interesting objects. Gemini and Cancer are well placed, and constellations Leo and Virgo are now in range with lots of galaxies to see, including the Leo triplet, which is one of my favourite targets. It is always amazing to get 2 or 3 galaxies in the same field of view. Ursa Major is also well positioned with many objects up for grabs. The winter portion of the Milky Way is currently on show, but it is often missed or overlooked. However, it is worth taking a good long gaze at this hazy band of light stretching across the sky, imagining that the glow is formed from millions of individual stars that cannot be distinguished by the naked eye. Again, Galileo first resolved this band of light into individual stars with his telescope in 1610. Remember, the telescope was only invented in 1608. However, you do not need a telescope to capture the majesty of it. Just use your unaided eyes. However, a pair of binos can add to the experience. You will then see thousands of individual stars just like Galileo. Wow again. Now, if comets are your thing, then you may get the opportunity to see 2 or maybe 3 this month. There are a lot more details in my Looking Up article in the EH about all 3 comets and also about some of the things I will now briefly mention. As always, Deep Sky on show. As always, last month's items are still around. At opposition on the ecliptic during February is the constellation of Cancer, the Crab. Cancer lies between Gemini and Leo, but has rather faint stars and is the least conspicuous of the 12 zodiacal constellations. However, there are quite a few notable items in this region. Binary star Iota Cancri is one of them. It is Cancer's second brightest star, but it is a double and well worth a look. Though the colours of the stars do not differ by much, their contrast caused early observers to declare them clear blue and pale orange. It lies almost due north of the Beehive cluster, which is Messier 44. This binary star's components are easily resolvable through a small scope. Also in there, the Beehive cluster, or Prasepe, or M44. It is one of the most brilliantly impressive open clusters in the entire sky. It resides right in the middle of Cancer. This cluster appears as a fuzzy star or little cloud to the naked eye, but it resolves nicely through binoculars or scopes into around 70 stars. Also in Cancer again, M67 is a bright open cluster showing fine stars in as half a degree in diameter, which is roughly about the area of a full moon. Most open clusters are distributed near the plane of the Milky Way spiral disk, but M67 is so old it has drifted 1,500 light years off the plane out to the fringes of the Milky Way spiral disk, where there is little dust or gas, making it easiest to see. Abell 31 is a challenging ancient planetary nebula that glows faintly across its half-full moon size of 16 minutes. But to have a decent chance of visually observing it in some detail, you may need a dark night with no moon around, a scope of maybe 14 inches aperture, and a couple of filters, an oxygen 3 or UHC filter. Elsewhere, outside Cancer, we have the incredible sight of the easily found Leo triplet. It consists of galaxies M65, M66 and NGC 3628. If the seeing is good, you may be able to see all 3 galaxies in the same field of view through your eyepiece. Your scope and eyepiece setup will need to deliver approximately a true field of view of 1.5 degrees to see all 3 together, but you will definitely be able to see 2 in there if you can't see the third one. Elsewhere again, Kemble's Cascade asterism, that's Kemble's Cascade asterism in Camellia Pardalis, is a great binocular object. it appears as a notably straight line of 20 or so 7th and 8th magnitude white stars spread over 2.5 degrees of the sky. So where can we find it? Where is Camelopardalis, in fact? Well, Campbell's Cascade is circumpolar, and so it never sets. It can be easily found by extending a line through Cassiopeia's W. Cassiopeia, remember, looks like a W in the sky, and its end stars, Caph, that's C-A-P-H, and Sagin, the same. They're the end stars, and if you look through those two stars, go in left and go the same distance again, then you will find Campbell's Cascade, and it's well worth looking at through some binoculars. Also, you may notice very at the end of this string of 20 or so stars, you may notice the 7th magnitude open cluster NGC 1502 residing at the southeastern end of the cascade. We mentioned Ursa Major in the introduction, which is the plough. We mentioned that earlier. It is favourably positioned high in the night sky at this time of year, bringing with it the opportunity of seeing many of our favourites at their best, such as M97, the Owl Nebula. It's a planetary nebula that appears quite large, but a little faint. Can you discern its eyes? Use an oxygen 3 or UHC filter to enhance the detail, and then you may be able to see the owl with its eyes, and it may be looking at you. M108 is a barred spiral galaxy. It's only 1 degree from M97, the Owl Nebula. It's almost edge on, and some dust lane details can be seen in its structure. 2 more galaxies, known as the Bode's galaxies, M81 and M82, are always a great target too at this time of year, and they're fairly easy to find. There is a great image of M81 by member Bang Aloud in my Looking Up article. But to find it, you just simply use the stars Thecla and Dubhe in the plough's bowl to locate it. Imagine drawing a line from Thecla to Dubhe, then carry the line on from Dubhe for the same distance, and M81 and M82 should be around there. Decent binoculars should also reveal them. But a decent 3 to 4 inch scope, or bigger if you've got one, will reveal details in M81's core. Also, try and tease out the irregular shaped dust lanes in M82. This is a spectacular galaxy to view. It looks amazing. You may then understand why M82 is known as the exploding cigar galaxy. Now, just a few degrees outside the plough's boundary lies the whirlpooled galaxy. We call it also M51 or NGC 5194. It is one of the most conspicuous and best known face-on galaxies in the northern sky. M51 is interacting with its close neighbour NGC 5195. Both of these little galaxies, the cores of the galaxy, can easily be seen on a dark night. But can you see its spiral arms? I've seen them, and both cores, and it's an amazing object. See if you can find it. There are many more details about these areas in the EHS Looking Up. I also mention what is happening with the planets, etc., and I have listed recommended objects for this time of year too. Again, it will be good to hear from you about any observational sessions you may have had, or we can have a chat about any of this stuff when we are up at the Obs on any wonderful Wednesday evening. So, are you ready now for Looking Up? This is Steve Smith wishing you all clear skies and lots of wow moments. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Obscast. If you are a member of the public and would like to come to our next open evening, then tickets are now on sale for our event on the 17th of February. Just email Brendan at events@sherwood-observatory.org.uk to book your tickets. Members of MSAS, please remember that our Science Discovery Centre workshop discussion is on the 21st of February, and finally, our Society lecture will be on Tuesday the 27th of February with a yet unnamed speaker. Thank you for listening. I will see you on the next episode of the Obscast.